In the labyrinthine corridors of power, a tapestry of intrigue and ambition unfurls, revealing the multifaceted strategy of control and subjugation orchestrated by the New World Order. An entity long whispered about in hushed tones, but now emerging into the harsh light of reality. This cabal of globalist figures, with their tentacles reaching into the very sinew of governmental structures, is actively engaged in a grand reconfiguration, steering societies towards a centralized, autocratic model of governance. This strategic endeavor is not merely about power accumulation, but is a calculated move to dissolve the sanctity of national sovereignty, amalgamating the diverse nations into a homogeneous global system. At the core of this stratagem lies political manipulation, a chess game where operatives and sympathizers are meticulously placed into positions of authority through a combination of elections, appointments, or, in more shadowy instances, coups. Analyses of political placements in major metropolitan areas and states reveal a disconcerting pattern. Individuals with clear affiliations to globalist agendas are strategically positioned like pawns on a board, ensuring that the policies they enact tilt not towards the interests of their own nations, but towards the monolithic vision of unified global governance. This infiltration is subtle yet pervasive, with existing politicians often swayed through the dark arts of bribery, blackmail, or coercion, trading their integrity for compliance with the NWO's objectives. The economic dominion of the NWO is another pillar of its strategy. Institutions such as the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, and central banks like the Federal Reserve become the levers of control, dictating economic policies, enforcing debt, and manipulating currencies. This financial puppetry ensures that nations are perennially dependent on these global structures, their autonomy slowly eroded. Multinational corporations, serving as the economic arm of the NWO, further this agenda by influencing local policies, controlling resources, and promoting economic systems that foster dependency on international markets, thus weakening national self-reliance. The control of minds, especially those of the youth, is another front in this silent war. Educational systems are being subtly but systematically reshaped to inculcate ideologies of global citizenship, often at the cost of national identity. Curricula are altered to emphasize compliance, obedience, and the collective over the individual, fostering a generation more likely to accept, even embrace, the NWO's vision. Parallel to this, the realm of media and entertainment is not spared from this infiltration. Narratives are crafted with precision to erode nationalistic sentiments, promoting instead a vision of a singular, unified global culture. The bias in media reporting, particularly on global issues, showcases a concerted effort to sculpt public opinion in favor of a one-world government. International organizations like the United Nations, NATO, and the European Union are not merely diplomatic entities but tools for enforcing the NWO's policies. The actions of the UN Security Council, for instance, often hint at prioritizing globalist agendas over the sovereignty of member states. Treaties and agreements, whether they concern climate change, trade, or other global issues, incrementally chip away at national autonomy, paving the path for a singular global authority. Perhaps the most chilling aspect of the NWO's strategy involves the manipulation or exploitation of crises. Pandemics, economic downturns, or even social unrest are either orchestrated or exploited to justify further centralization of power. The response to such crises typically involves policies that enhance surveillance, reduce personal freedoms, and foster a dependency on global solutions, often under the guise of necessity for collective security or well-being. The advent of the digital age has exponentially increased the NWO's surveillance capabilities. Under the pretext of security, technologies for mass surveillance are deployed, leading to an era where privacy is but a myth. The push towards digital identities, a cashless society, and the control of information flow through technology are seen as instruments to monitor and manipulate populations on an unprecedented scale. Even the spiritual dimension of human life is not immune to this grand design. There's a strategic, albeit subtle, effort to control or undermine religious institutions, aiming to replace the rich tapestry of spiritual practices with a unifying, yet vacuous, ideology that dovetails with globalist objectives. This strategy also includes the fostering or prolongation of conflicts that span generations, ensuring ethnic, religious, or ideological disputes continue to simmer. By maintaining such conflicts, the NWO secures control over regions, exploits resources, and keeps populations divided, distracted, and thus, more easily governed. This multi-generational warfare serves not only political ends, but also perpetuates a narrative of division, making the dream of peace and unity an ever-receding horizon. The methods of infiltration extend into the shadowy realms of secret societies, where members are chosen for their potential to influence or utility. Through symbols, coded communications, and strategic placements, these societies ensure loyalty and steer the societal direction. Their presence in educational, governmental, and corporate sectors is not merely for recruitment, but to maintain a network of control that operates in plain sight, yet remains unseen by the general populace. Thus, the New World Order is methodically constructing a world where freedom is a relic of the past, and control is the new currency. The revelations of these tactics, from the manipulation of political will to the exploitation of technology, paint a grim tableau of a world where autonomy is traded for the illusion of security, all under the watchful, unseen eyes of an elite few. This narrative of control and subjugation by the NWO is not just a warning but a call to vigilance, to resist and perhaps, to rewrite a future where liberty and human spirit prevail against encroaching darkness. The New World Order wields a complex, multifaceted stratagem of control and subjugation, meticulously transforming the very essence of governmental edifices into a centralized, autocratic model. This calculated maneuver aspires to erode the sanctity of national boundaries, amalgamating disparate nations into a monolithic global entity, thereby significantly diluting their sovereignty. The deliberate curtailment of individual freedoms is evident, favoring a collective, authoritarian dictate over the sanctity of personal liberties. This vision reimagines local governance and individual rights within the confines of an overarching, despotic framework. As this shadowy reality unfolds, control stealthily entrenches, posing a dire threat to the autonomy of humanity.